You're with 702.
This is Africa Melane on Early Breakfast.
16 minutes now, it is past 5 o'clock. The Independent Electoral Commission is expecting a record number of political parties to contest the local government elections in November when submissions close tomorrow. Political parties and independent candidates have until close of business tomorrow in order to make their submissions, and the IEC has made it clear there will be no extensions, no late submissions or last-minute corrections. Joining me on the line is the Chief Electoral Officer at the IEC, Mamabolo. A very good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and we extend greetings to your listeners, Africa.
All right, so what will need to be submitted by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon?
What requires to be submitted are the following things. One, the list of candidates, in other words, names in a precedence order, and those people must be registered in the relevant municipality. You can't be contesting the city of Cape Town when you are registered in Johannesburg, for instance. And secondly, what is required to be submitted is a confirmation to be bound by the Code of Conduct, which is signed by the party, authorized party representative, and lastly, the deposit which is prescribed. The deposit is returnable to the party if it gets at least one seat in that municipality, or if it's an independent candidate, even if they did not win a ward, but at least gain 10% of votes in the relevant ward, then they get that deposit back to them.
Can you actually explain that last bit, Sai? Why is it that in order to contest, I pay a deposit, and for me to get that returned to me, I would need to win one seat?
Conceptually, election deposits are used to establish the serious intention of the participant, of the contestant to take part in that election. In other words, if we put it differently, is to avoid frivolity. So that we don't end up with people who don't have a serious intention to participate, leading up to a even bigger than normal ballot sizes. So it's really just to check that people have a serious intention to contest and minimize the size of the ballot paper, which can have a obfuscating impact on the voter if it increases untrammeled.
And then earlier you said that the submission of those lists from political parties will have to come in precedence order. Does that mean if I have successfully gone through the internal procedures within my political party and I've been listed as number 3 on the list, I would then need to be submitted as number 3 on the list as opposed to alphabetical order? Hey?
No, look, the precedence is established by the party that is concerned. So how they organize the precedence it's a matter within their exclusive domain. We will, if you're working online as a party, you will capture in terms of that precedence. All it means is the following. If the party gets 5 PR seats, and you're number 3, it means you are in. If you are number 6, it means you won't be allocated a seat after the seat calculation is done. That's the import of the precedence of the list.
Yeah. Who qualifies to be a candidate, Sai? You mentioned that they have to be resident in the constituency, if you like, that they are contesting in. Beyond that, what does one need to have to qualify to be a candidate?
The law provides that you've got to, if you are qualified to be a registered voter, or in fact, if you are a registered voter in the municipality, then you are qualified. Of course, there are other constitutional qualifications for if you've not been sentenced to more than 24 months without an option of the fine, and 5 years has not elapsed since you concluded the sentence, then you may not be a candidate. So those are the crucial elements. And of course, if you've not been declared to be detained in terms of the Mental Health Healthcare Act, similarly, you may not be registered and therefore may not be a candidate in the election if a court has declared you to be of an unsound mind. Those are some of the disqualifications.
And will the IEC do its own vetting and checking once political parties and independent candidates have submitted their names? Or do you presume that the various political parties have done the due diligence required in order for them to submit those names to you?
Africa, we expect on this occasion more than 100,000 candidates. In a similar election in 2021, we had no fewer than 95,000 candidates. So on this occasion, our anticipation is that number will increase. So the Commission places the duty to verify qualification on the parties. But of course, if a complaint were to come our way, we'll deal with it within the constitutional qualifications as well as the electoral qualifications.
100,000 candidates, that logistically sounds like a very, very long list. By which time is the electorate going to have sight of the confirmed list of candidates for each of either the wards or the municipalities where they are participating in the local government elections?
Yeah, that aspect is regulated in terms of the election timetable. And as the timetable stands, the date for publishing the list is the 16th of September. So members of the public at that point will get to see which candidate, which party fielded in which municipal segment.
And Sai, if I had undergone the internal contestation with my political party and I'm not satisfied with the outcome, the political party then submits the lists tomorrow to you by 5 o'clock, including the order of precedence. Do I have any avenue to contest that through the IEC, or would I need to then go back to my political party and follow whatever procedures are contained in the political party's constitution to question why I'm not at the appropriate level of the list because I was expecting to be much higher than what I've been rated?
Yes, indeed, is the latter. It's an internal party issue. The Commission, the law, in fact, it's not a preference. I prefer not to be involved with internal dynamics or primaries, if you want to call it that, the internal primaries of political parties. Those are for the party to manage. And if there's any fallout, is for the party to manage the fallout in terms of their own internal processes. What the Commission will do is, if there's a challenge to the qualification of candidate A as against candidate B, on the basis that they are not constitutionally or legally qualified, only in those instances will the Commission be involved. But otherwise, the Commission wouldn't be involved in the internal primaries of political parties, as well as if there's any fallout from those are matters for parties to handle.
And just confirming, it is a hard deadline of 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Hey, if a political party is trying to input details onto the portal at 5 minutes past 5, that's it. Those people will not be on the list for the candidates to contest the local government elections in November.
On a light note, Africa, let's say that my phone will be off from 4 o'clock tomorrow.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Sai, it's always a pleasure chatting to you, and all the best for tomorrow. Sai Mamabolo is the Chief Electoral Officer at the Independent Electoral Commission. A hard deadline of 5 o'clock tomorrow.